Hey everybody, I'm really looking forward to our semester together. I've sure enjoyed our journey that we've taken up to this point, and we don't have far to go. It won't be too long till we'll be all done with this, and I have learned so much from you. Anyway, I figured since I've asked you to do these videos, I should be doing one myself. The very first time I ever read Richard Foster's book, Celebration of Discipline, I hated it. I thought that it was a legalistic, very dour type of thing, and I didn't understand the heart of it or the spirit of it. And actually, the word disciplines, like spiritual disciplines, ties into that. See, my understanding of disciplines is like punishment or to discipline somebody. It just seems like something that's very unpleasant. And I really enjoy Dallas Willard's perspective of that. He calls them spiritual practices rather than disciplines. And I like that because a practice is something that I'm doing in order to get better at something. Like I practice the piano, or I practice the guitar, I practice a sport for my embetterment. And it does take discipline to do the practice, but I like to think in terms of spiritual practices rather than spiritual disciplines. I like Richard Foster now, but only because I understand him in light of practice rather than discipline. Also, it's Willard and John Ortberg. They both talked about the idea of training versus trying. Training, like an athlete that goes into training for something really great. And that's what the disciplines or the practices do for us. They're like a spiritual training ground to help us to move forward. So, okay, what are the inward, outward, and corporate disciplines? The inward disciplines, I look at those, like prayer and meditation and stuff like that, journaling, as things that would help me in my spiritual walk with Jesus. Forming Christ in me for the sake of others. But it's really the work of Christ inside of me, deepening my love and my devotion to Jesus. The outward disciplines are ones to make the world a better place, or to serve the world, to serve others. So disciplines such as stewardship and giving and simplicity and service, those kinds of things are for the benefit of other people. It helps me in the process, but another person is on the receiving end of that. The corporate disciplines are ones that we do together as brothers and sisters in Christ. And so we're doing this as an act of worship or commitment to God together, such as attending church services. That would be a corporate discipline. Or communion would be a corporate spiritual discipline. When we look at prayer, there's the inward side of that. That would be the personal reflection and introspection, contemplative prayer. The outward side of prayer would be intercession for others, praying for them. And then the corporate part of prayer would be prayer meetings where we pray with other people. All three of those are like three legs of a stool that we need to have in our prayer life, the inward, the outward, and the corporate. The question is, how often do you practice spiritual disciplines? And the answer to that is every day. Every single morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is I seek the face of God. I journal every day. I read the Bible every day. I pray every day. And that's a part of my quiet time. My first hour or so is with the Lord early in the day. But then there's like a through the day discipline, or a practice, I guess is what I'd rather say, where I'm looking for opportunities to serve, to bless, to love, to encourage, and to use every opportunity to do that. Sometimes I flunk that course, but in the early morning watch, I've kept that pretty faithfully. There's a pattern that I've been using lately called examen.me. It's a website, examen.me. And it's an online guide for Bible reading, journaling, and prayer. And I found that tremendously helpful. And it's just a great way to boost my spiritual journey. I've found that to be tremendously a blessing and a help. Was I exposed to spiritual disciplines as a youngster? And the answer to that is some of them. Like, I didn't know anything about journaling. I didn't know anything about the early fathers, the desert fathers, or any of that kind of stuff. However, my parents taught me the importance of a daily time with God. We read the Bible every day. My father was a devout pastor. He loved God with all of his heart. And some of my earliest memories are of him praying. And what I remember almost more than anything else about him was his prayer, the quality of his prayers. And so that was certainly a part of his spiritual repertoire. There's a lot of other stuff that I've added since as I've learned and I've studied and gleaned from other people and that kind of thing, and stuff that works for me. But so some of it was something that I was exposed to early on, and then other parts I've had to learn along the way. Well, anyway, God bless you. Looking forward to our time together. Looking forward to watching your videos. God bless you. Bye.